Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morris, the review guy, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one I'm going to be covering the new self-titled record from No One Knows What the Dead Think. This is an extremely cool record for a sole reason. This is a new Grindcore band, their studio-length debut, and they feature Rob Martin and John Chang, who respectively played guitar and bass as well as did the vocals for Discordance Axis. One of my personal favorite Grindcore bands, and who released one of what is, in my opinion, the most greatest Grindcore releases, period, with their 2000 record, The Inalienable Dreamless. It is extremely sad that it got largely swept under the rug by a lot of contemporary listeners. However, the influence for this record is completely evident if you go back and listen to it, and if you're a avid follower of Grindcore, because with what Discordance Axis did with all of their studio-length albums and splits, specifically The Inalienable Dreamless, they catapulted a lot of Grindcore bands and powerviolence bands in the future to cling to more of a noisy style, to more of a chaotic style. And while Grindcore and powerviolence always had that shriek scream delivery for it, Discordance Axis really put on the map the absolutely pushing your throat and your body to the highest register possible, making everything sound even more tortured than it already did. After Discordance Axis disbanded, the band members kind of just drifted to the wind and started doing different things. Specifically John, who was in quite a few different bands. I really enjoy the project known as Gridlink. Once again, kind of like Discordance Axis, kind of swept under the rug a little bit and underappreciated. They're actually still around, and they released a record back in 2014, I believe, that was pretty damn good. This record gets in and out really fast. I like that. I like that they're not trying to push Grindcore into a realm that it doesn't belong in. This can kind of be considered technical Grindcore, and it can also kind of be considered like atmospheric Grindcore. It's also chuggy at a lot of points, such as on the track Dagger Before Me. But with how melodic a lot of these riffs are played, with how chunky it can get, with how dense the production is, with John's expressive scream delivery, as well as his deep guttural growls when they pop up on save tracks, it just feels like the fourth Discordance Axis album that we never got. Kind of in a bad way. One thing you can say about other projects the band members have been a part of is they've never felt super close to each other. They've always been very noisy and very abrasive, but they've always had their distinct sound. But with John and Rob being on this record, there are times it is so much like The Inalienable Dreamless specifically. But don't get me wrong, even though a lot of these tracks can blaze by in a Grindcore flurry that does feel a little one-dimensional at times, there are moments where the band is in full throttle and are very intriguing, like the ascending guitar riff on Autumn Flowers, which breaks up the monotony from the chaos. But one issue I have is how on Dagger Before Me, the next track, the guitar riff sounds a lot like the track before it, specifically at the start. In the midst of putting their foot on the gas pedal, I think that this band falls so much in the footsteps of Discordance Axis, which is great. That's amazing. I love Discordance Axis. I love that we're basically getting the fourth album from the band that never was. I like that it's reinvigorating the spirit of the two band members from Discordance Axis that find their way onto this project. The only issue is the production just doesn't fit. I like my Grindcore to be technical, I like my Grindcore to be well produced a lot of times. I really enjoyed Full of Hell's record this year. I'm not opposed to death grind and Grindcore that's well mixed. I also like Cattle Decapitation. I also like bands like Benighted. But for an album that sounds so much like Discordance Axis did, it misses out on that rigidness, that rawness so much, which in turn leaves this sounding like a record that leaves me scratching my head saying, I will just go listen to The Inalienable Dreamless. But please don't let me distract from the record's talent levels. It's still a really nice Grindcore record, definitely stand out. The performances are punchy, the drums are punchy, the guitar riffs are intriguing, the guitar riffs are frazzled, the riffs are well made even if some of them can feel a little dime a dozen, and John really is a special vocalist when it comes to his shrieks and his growls. It's just at the end of the day, this sounds so much like Discordance Axis that it is scary at times. Still a good good grindcore record, though. Still one I got quite a bit out of. I mean, it's good. I would definitely say listen to Discordance Axis's discography over this. Don't necessarily choose listen to all of it. I just do really suggest Discordance Axis's discography. Either way, even though I do have a lot of nitpicks about this record, at the end of the day, it is a very, very competent grindcore record made by people in the genre that definitely know what they're doing. I'm going to be giving this album a 7 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Please stay for the end screen, links to videos that you might be interested in. Have you heard this new self-titled debut by No One Knows What the Dead Think? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss the record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. It'll help me out a lot. And subscribe to join the review family today. Smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. My name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.